Nothing said that they are going after Apple with their new phone 2 that is for sale in the US. So today we are gonna see if they can defeat the iPhone 14 Plus, and based off the specs, it seems like they will. But of course, we're gonna compare everything from the speakers, the displays, the design, performance, and more. Now, I am a huge fan of the original Nothing phone. We actually imported it here into the States. And that sucks, their little rip strip just messed up. I'll have to be really careful cutting this top box. But I had to pay over 800 bucks to import the original one. And now this one, even though prices have gone up, you can get it for $599 in the US compared to $900 for the 14 Plus. And I've gotta say the unboxing experience, other than that strip, is really cool. Now in the box, we do not have an adapter, it's super thin. We have this cable, and look at this. That looks super cool. We have the clear right here where the USB-C connection comes in. Feels really high quality with this cool SIM tool, but what I care about is the phone. Let's pull this thing out, get this little paper cover off. Let's pull it out, and wow, Vadim, that feels a lot different compared to the Nothing phone. Really? It feels really nice. That feels okay, so the back is curved. You know what? This is what the new iPhones are gonna be like. Nothing did it first ahead of Apple. And it's kind of harder to see because you have this glass, but the feel in the hand, okay, this is better. But even here, just hold this for a second. Okay. Yeah, this feels great. I love that the Nothing had flat sides like the iPhone, but this is the best of both worlds. And as far as the look, I mean, you can't say that looks really, really cool and unique compared to the fingerprint magnet with this dark 14 Plus. Now, as you guys see, we have the wireless charging coils. Both of them have 15-watt wireless charging, but the Nothing phone can actually do reverse wireless charging, 5 watts for devices, which Apple has the hardware to do it. Since the iPhone 12, they just don't enable it. It also has 4,700 milliamp hours compared to 4,325 on the iPhone, and with that, you can charge to 50% in 20 minutes compared to 30. As far as the size, they're almost identical. The Nothing is slightly slimmer, but slightly taller. The button layout is similar, but the Nothing phone has lower buttons, so it's a little bit easier to get to. And of course, they have their really cool glyphs on the side, so here's a few more. They added a bunch of extras. For example, you have unique call notifications, so you can see who's calling just by the lights. You have an Essentials glyph that will stay on to show if you have notifications that you can customize, and you have a glyph timer. So if you have a timer going, you'll see that running. With that, you also have a volume indicator, so that is really cool. You have a charge indicator, so as it's charging, it's gonna show you that level on this back one. These glyphs are so awesome, and the customization is just really sweet, and we don't have that on the iPhone. Now onto the front, the iPhone has Face ID, whereas the Nothing has a fingerprint scanner. It's an optical one, and I will say this seems a little bit low for my personal comfort. Of course, you'll get used to that, but I wish it was a little bit higher. I do prefer Face ID, but that notch is huge compared to that tiny cutout, and I really like that it's now centered instead of on the side. Now, if we look at the bezels, the Nothing does have thinner bezels than the iPhone, so that is also nice, but we have a lot of other display differences. But first, I've got to give a shout out to our partner Casekoo, who makes awesome cases like their Cloud Cush case, which has air cushion technology built into the frame, so it's very drop resistant, while also being incredibly comfortable to hold thanks to the silky smooth rounded finish. And right now, they are doing an iPad giveaway running until August 8th, giving away an iPad to one of the first 100 people that enter, and a second iPad if 200 people enter. So use the links down below to check out their cases and enter the iPad giveaway today. Now for $599, I am impressed with this screen because it's an LTPO screen and it goes up to 120 Hertz compared to just 60. So going through here, the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus always feels stuttery because I'm used to ProMotion, where here, everything is very smooth and you guys could see the difference in the slow motion footage. Now this also helps with battery life because it can go all the way down to 1 hertz to save battery when you don't need the crazy refresh rate, where this one's stuck at 60. As far as brightness, the Nothing 2 has some impressive specs, but I went ahead and I maxed out both of these manually, and looking at them, at least in manual brightness, the iPhone does look brighter. Now, Nothing says it goes up to 1600 nits compared to 1200. They also list 500 and 1000 depending on what you're doing, so I'm guessing manual is 1000 compared to 1200. But taking it outside, I was surprised by how close the iPhone kept up on a full white screen, and then with dark mode turned on, the Nothing did seem a little bit brighter, but not 1600 nits brighter. Now, as far as HDR, I have both these maxed out, and as you guys could see, the iPhone simply looks brighter, which is weird. You get the highlights that are popping more so. The image processing looks a little bit better. And one thing I noticed is that if I am moving it around and adjusting, it looks really bright right now, but as soon as I go full screen, you literally notice it dim down a lot. Now, I went through all the settings, everything is set properly, everything is updated, and I think this might just be something they have to tweak, or they're just trying to save power. But as far as HDR video, the iPhone takes the win. Now, one area where cheaper Android phones struggle are the speakers. So let's go ahead and compare both of these. Okay guys, that was weird. The iPhone definitely sounded better, but at first, the Nothing phone sounded great, but as soon as that beat dropped, the whole phone cut down the volume and then later cut it back up, cut it back down. There's definitely something going on with the software, because at first it didn't sound bad, and then it got a lot worse as far as volume and sound quality. I don't know if it's a bug or what's going on, but just like the display, it seems like something has to be adjusted or changed, because it shouldn't be performing like this. And now it's time for performance. I have Geekbench 6 opened up right here. You guys could see we have 6 gigs, whereas the Nothing has 8 gigs of RAM for the base. Both have 128 gig of storage. And we have the A15 in the iPhone and the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 in the Nothing phone. Now, while this is running, we could talk about price a little bit. Some people are upset that the price has gone up. And yes, that does suck. That's happened with other companies before, but you are getting a better chip than before. It's not, top of the line, but it's just an older top of the line flagship chip, better build quality, a lot of other improvements, making it a more flagship-like device, basically a flagship. And take a look at that. Of course, the iPhone beat out the Nothing. We have a difference of 33% for single core and 22% in case of multi-core. So Apple is still ahead with the performance, even on a 1-year-old chip that came on the 13 Pros. But what about graphics performance? I have 3D Mark's Wildlife Extreme opened up right here. I'm gonna use the unlimited mode, and let's see how they compare. Wow guys, this is incredibly close. We have 16.8 FPS compared to 16.5. The iPhone is beating it out by just by a tiny bit. Now I'm not sure what's gonna happen when thermals kick in if you're gaming for a while, but graphics wise, they are very similar. Now, the last thing I need to talk about are the cameras. Taking a look at the back, we can compare the camera bumps. Personally, I think that the Nothing phone's camera layout looks nicer, the way the iPhones used to look in that vertical orientation. But what is interesting is that Nothing have made a really nice update to this phone. Both of these are 50 megapixel sensors compared to two 12 megapixels. And then flipping them around, the Nothing Phone 2 has a 30 megapixel sensor, so that's been upgraded compared to 12. Now, just looking at these, the Nothing definitely looks sharper, and they said they've put a lot of effort into optimizing the processing on here. The videos got a lot better, they added new features, and there's just so much to test. So instead of just taking a couple of shots here, what we're gonna do is tomorrow, we're gonna have an unbiased camera comparison. These things are always incredibly fun. I will take photos, Vadim and Angelica are going to be guessing which one looks better, and we're also gonna toss in the Pixel 7 Pro to see how the Nothing compares to its biggest Android competitor and iPhone competitor. So make sure you guys enable those notifications and you guys are subscribed because you will not want to miss that. So with that said, does the Nothing Phone 2 defeat the iPhone? Did Nothing achieve their goals coming to the US market and wanting to take on Apple? And I will say in general, yes. For $599, you get so much value packed into this device and it feels premium. The quality is great. Now the HDR had some issues, the speakers had some issues. Hopefully that's fixed with software. It definitely seems with both that it's a software issue, and we'll see how the cameras compare. But for $900 compared to $600, this phone is much better overall. And that is coming from somebody who loves Apple products. You guys know this channel. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button above so you guys don't miss out on tomorrow's video. Check out one of those. This has been Max, and I'll see you in the next one.